John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hey there, John Ulzheimer here, coming to you from lovely Atlanta traffic. Today I'm going to talk about actually kind of an interesting nuance in consumer credit reporting, which is what is the difference between what's called an end user and a furnisher. So these are our credit reporting terms. And so if you're familiar with credit reporting nomenclature, you may have heard the term furnisher and you may have heard the term end user. So we're going to talk about what those are, and we're going to talk about the difference of the two and why that's relevant. So there are 10,000 companies, at least, according to the CFPB. I think there's actually closer to 11,000. 10 to 11,000 companies that report information to you every single month to the credit reporting agencies, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. That practice, the practice of reporting information to the credit bureaus, is called data furnishing, all right? Therefore, the companies that do report information to the credit bureaus are formally referred to as data furnishers. So if you ever hear anybody refer to a company as being a furnisher or a data furnisher, what they're referring to is the practice of that company to report information about you to the credit reporting agencies. And most of the time, data furnishing occurs on a monthly basis. Usually every time your statement is cut or your statement cycle ends, they will furnish that information to the credit reporting agencies, usually once a month. So an example of a data furnisher is Chase, Wells Fargo, American Express, Discover, Citi, Navy Federal Credit Union. I mean, you can literally sit here all day long and name data furnishers. You probably do business with multiple data furnishers yourself. End users. So what is an end user? An end user is a company that uses the credit report information. That's why they're called end users. So an end user is going to be a company that pulls information from a credit reporting agency. So you can start to see the difference between the two. One provides information, one pulls information. An end user is going to pull information for the purposes of underwriting a loan or extending an insurance, underwriting an insurance policy or increasing the credit limit of your credit card. So how does one become a furnisher or an end user? Well, what you have to do is you have to apply for an account with the credit reporting agencies. No company is entitled to, they don't have the right to an account with a credit bureau, so they have to apply for an account. When you do apply for an account, the credit bureaus go through a due diligence process to verify that you really are a legitimate, bank or a lender or credit union or insurance company, and that you have a legal purpose or permissible purpose to pull or become an end user of credit reports. And once they set up your account, you can pull credit reports and then you have become an end user. That's really only half of the relationship with a credit bureau. A lot of companies also furnish. And so if you think of a company like Chase or Amex or pretty much any lender, they are not only a furnisher of information, but they're also an end user of information. So they fall into both categories. Now, when you furnish information to a credit reporting agency, you have an obligation to be able to perform an investigation if that information is in fact disputed. And that occurs, according to the CFPB, a little over 8 million times a year where someone challenges the validity of information on their credit reports. So as a furnisher, because you're sticking something on someone's credit report, you have to be able to do that if the consumer challenges the accuracy of the information. If you're only an end user, meaning that you only pull information from a credit bureau, but you do not furnish information to a credit bureau, then there will never be anything on the credit report for the consumer to dispute because you haven't placed anything on a report. Now, when you pull a credit report as an end user, the credit reporting agencies are going to post a record of that pulling, and that's called the inquiry. So an inquiry is not sent to a credit bureau by a company. So in other words, Chase doesn't send inquiries to the credit bureaus because they've pulled credit reports. They just pull credit reports, and then the credit bureaus affirmatively post the inquiries. It can lead to some confusion as to how that information gets there and what the role of the lender is when they are an end user. So difference between end user and furnisher. So hopefully we cleared up any confusion about that kind of nuanced issue. If you have any other questions, then please drop them in the section below. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.